It's strange, isn't it? How you can work harder than ever and still feel like you're swimming upstream, while someone else seems to glide through life as if the current itself carries them. They get the call back. The opportunity lands. The right person shows up at the right time. It almost looks unfair until you realize they're not lucky. They're tuned. There's a quiet rhythm beneath everything. You feel it sometimes, those moments when things click, when time stretches, when coincidences multiply. That's not magic. That's coherence. It's the physics of alignment. When your energy, thoughts, and body hum in the same note as what you're asking for. And when they don't, you can chase, affirm, visualize all you want. But reality feels like molasses. Most people live like a detuned instrument, trying to play a symphony while one string is off. You can't force harmony through effort. You restore it through resonance. And once you hit that true note, reality bends. Conversations flow differently. The heaviness around tasks dissolves. What you used to try to attract begins orbiting you. But here's the catch. Aligning your energy isn't about controlling your thoughts or faking positivity. It's about attuning your whole system, mind, heart, body, to a vibration that already exists. You don't invent the song, you join it. That's why when your energy is fragmented, when your nervous system feels unsafe, when you're overthinking, when you're doubting yourself, the signal you send to life gets scrambled. The universe doesn't respond to words. It mirrors coherence, and that's what we're going to decode. What alignment actually means in practical, embodied terms. Why trying harder backfires, and how the moment you stop fighting the current, life stops fighting you back. Because when your vibration locks in, reality doesn't resist, it rearranges. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. Every thought, every emotion, every cell in your body is vibrating at a certain frequency. And reality, what you call life out there, isn't separate. It's a vast field of overlapping vibrations, responding to whichever signal you emit most consistently. When people talk about manifesting, they often imagine thought power alone. But it's not your mind that creates alignment. It's your state. The body, not the brain, is the transmitter. The brain holds the image, but the body decides the broadcast. That's why you can think all the right affirmations and still feel like nothing changes. The frequency isn't in the words. It's in the coherence between your thoughts, emotions, and physiology. Picture it like this. If your internal tuning fork is humming at the note of fear or lack, no matter how beautifully you visualize abundance, the signal being broadcast is discordant. Reality mirrors the dominant tone, not the desired one. It's pure physics. Waves synchronize with matching waves. Energy aligns with resonance. When your energy is aligned correctly, you stop trying to make reality happen. You start to allow it to flow through you. You become a clear channel rather than a fractured transmitter. It's why some people seem magnetic. Their signal is stable, unwavering. They're not hustling to convince the universe. They've simply become the frequency of what they seek. And here's what most people miss. Alignment isn't about holding one high vibration all the time. It's about integrity, the inner agreement between your thoughts, emotions, and body. When those three align, even if the frequency isn't positive, it's true, and truth is magnetic. In quantum terms, the observer effect shows us that your state of observation influences what collapses into form. You're not just watching the movie, you're editing it in real time through the vibration of your attention. Every time you shift from anxiety to presence, from doubt to trust, you alter the frame you're living in. The field rearranges to meet the note you've become. This is why trying harder often pushes what you want away. Effort driven by resistance tells reality you're out of tune. Coherence, on the other hand, tells it you're ready. That's when the flow begins, the effortless unfolding that feels almost supernatural until you understand it's just resonance doing what it always does. But there's one illusion that keeps nearly everyone trapped in static, one that makes alignment feel impossible until you see through it. And once you do, everything about how you create reality will change. The biggest myth about energy alignment is that you have to control your thoughts to manifest, as if one stray moment of doubt cancels your entire frequency. That belief alone keeps people locked in resistance, because the harder you try to control the mind, the tighter your body clenches, and the more static you produce in your signal. Alignment isn't control, it's coherence. Let's ground this with something real. You're waiting for a message. Maybe it's from someone you like or a job you interviewed for. You keep checking your phone every few minutes, your stomach tightens. You tell yourself, stay positive, they'll reply. But deep down, You're bracing for silence. That tension in your gut, that's the signal, not the words you're saying. In the field, what you feel is what transmits. So even though your mind is chanting, "I trust it's coming," your body is broadcasting lack, fear, attachment. It's like saying one thing into a mic while your amplifier plays another note entirely. The universe doesn't respond to language. It responds to vibration. Now, the paradox: you don't fix this by pretending not to care or by repeating new affirmations with more force. You fix it by feeling what's real and letting your body release the grip. The frequency of truth, "I'm anxious, but I'm safe right now," is infinitely more coherent than the fake calm of denial. The more you relax into what's true, the faster your vibration stabilizes. Because authenticity is alignment. It's the body's way of tuning itself back into coherence. The field doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be congruent. So instead of trying to think positive, try to tune accurate. Feel the pulse of what's here. Breathe it open and let your system soften. When you do, you'll notice something subtle. Your energy quiets. Your need to check your phone lessens. Your nervous system exudes safety. That's when the signal changes. And suddenly, the reply arrives when you're not even looking for it. That's the secret most never see. Life mirrors your internal resolution, not your effort to control. But there's an even deeper layer beneath this, something that explains why your body can't hold a coherent frequency when it doesn't feel safe. And when you understand that, alignment stops being a mystery and starts being something you can feel. You can't tune an instrument that's shaking, and you can't align your energy when your nervous system is in survival mode. That's the quiet truth most manifestation advice skips over. When your body feels unsafe, when it senses threat, pressure, or uncertainty, it doesn't care about frequency or alignment. It cares about protection. Your biology reroutes everything toward one goal: survive the moment. Meaning, your energy gets locked in fight, flight, or freeze. The field you emit isn't creative, it's defensive. Coherence begins where safety begins. Because only when your body feels safe does it allow the higher frequencies, peace, gratitude, love, to flow through it without distortion. You can't fake that safety. You have to build it, moment by moment. Here's a simple practice. Right now, wherever you are, pause. Uncross your arms, let your jaw soften, drop your shoulders slightly. Now take one slow breath in through your nose, and as you exhale through your mouth, feel the space around you expand. Let the air brush your skin. Feel the chair or ground supporting you. Your only job is to notice. I'm safe right now. That simple awareness begins to restore coherence. The body receives the signal that the present moment isn't a threat, and suddenly, the energetic current that was jammed starts to move again. Every emotion you've ever suppressed, every old fear, these are vibrations stuck in the system. They don't need to be fixed. They need to be witnessed from safety. The observer effect isn't just about particles responding to observation. It's your cells responding to conscious presence. When you observe yourself with compassion, your biology recalibrates. This is why alignment feels effortless when you reach it, because there's no internal friction left. You're not fighting your own signal. Your mind, body, and field start playing the same note. You might notice after a few minutes of this kind of breathing that your thoughts slow down. The mind naturally synchronizes to the rhythm of the body. Your heart rate evens. Your energy becomes grounded and expansive all at once. That's coherence, a measurable electromagnetic harmony between heart and brain. From that space, your desires don't feel far away. They feel near, because your system is finally tuned to receive instead of defend. And when you learn to stabilize that state, something profound happens. You stop chasing temporary emotional highs and start living from an entirely different layer of identity. A lot of people treat alignment like a mood, something you slip into when you meditate, visualize, or listen to a certain frequency online. But real alignment isn't a temporary state. It's an identity. It's who you become when your vibration stabilizes in truth. You can feel calm for 10 minutes in meditation, but if your core identity still sees yourself as the one who struggles, who waits, who hopes life will change, your frequency resets the moment the meditation ends, because your baseline vibration is tied not to how you feel for a moment, but to who you believe you are. That's why the real shift happens the day you stop trying to feel high vibe and start being the person who already lives in coherence. Not pretending, embodying. Let's use the tuning fork again. A tuning fork doesn't have to try to stay in pitch. It just is that note. Every time you return to your old identity of lack, effort, or fear, you dampen your frequency. Every time you act, speak, and move from the vibration of your chosen identity, you amplify it. So, who are you tuning to? The self who's waiting for things to align, or the self who already knows they're aligned? You don't need to wait for external proof to shift. In fact, waiting for proof keeps you stuck in the version of you that doubts. Identity work is energetic causality. It's what flips the direction of flow. You no longer try to create a new reality. You let reality catch up to the vibration you've claimed. Here's the subtle magic. When your identity shifts, your nervous system follows. The body starts to recognize a new baseline of safety because it trusts the coherence of who you're being. The vibration stabilizes not through effort, but through embodiment. This is why chasing emotional highs never works. You can feel inspired, but if underneath that, your identity is still wired to scarcity or unworthiness, you'll collapse back into that old frequency as soon as the stimulus fades. True alignment is when your energy doesn't waver with circumstance, because it's anchored in identity, not mood. And this identity shift is what opens the doorway to something few people talk about, the physics of timelines. Because once your identity changes, you don't just feel different. You start existing on a different frequency band entirely. Every identity is like a specific frequency band, its own timeline, its own song. You don't move toward your desires across time. You shift into the version of you who already lives there. Think of existence as a radio spectrum of infinite stations. Each station broadcasts a complete reality. You don't build the music by effort. You tune to it. When you shift your identity, you're not becoming something new. You're aligning with a station that was always broadcasting. That's why certain changes feel instant. You didn't climb toward them. You clicked into them. Let's make it concrete. Imagine you've been in a job that drains you. You keep saying you want something better, but deep down, you still identify as the one who gets overlooked. So even if you apply for new positions, your vibration carries hesitation, unworthiness, self-protection. The field mirrors that note. Doors stay closed. Then one day, something inside you drops. You stop begging life for approval. You start moving as if you're already the one who belongs in the room. You speak differently. You breathe differently. And suddenly, almost impossibly, you get a call for an opportunity you thought was out of reach. That's not coincidence. That's a timeline shift. The moment your identity stabilized on a new frequency, the field around you reorganized to match it. In quantum terms, you didn't manifest the job. You became the version of reality where that job was already yours. The field doesn't see time as linear. It reads coherence, and coherence locks you into the corresponding stream. This is why you can't trick reality. You can't pretend to be confident while vibrating uncertainty. The field reads frequency, not performance. But when your embodiment changes, when your nervous system actually believes you are that person, the shift is immediate. And here's the beauty. You don't have to know how to change timelines. You just need to anchor in the vibration of the self that already has. The frequency does the navigation for you. When you walk as that self, speak as that self, breathe as that self, you generate a new signal. And that signal begins collapsing particles around you into a matching world. This is what people mean when they say reality bends. It doesn't bend to thought. It bends to identity. But even knowing this, most people get lost in translation between vision and embodiment. They try to think their way into the new frequency without ever training their body to hold it. And that's why the next step is so crucial. Learning how to rehearse alignment until it becomes your natural state. The body learns through repetition, not reasoning. You can understand alignment intellectually, but if your nervous system hasn't rehearsed it, your energy won't hold the note. So let's make it tangible. Here's how you train your frequency to stay coherent long enough for reality to respond. First, bridge statements. When you're trying to shift identity, jumping straight from I'm stuck to I'm limitless is too wide a vibrational leap. The body doesn't believe it, and disbelief creates resistance. Bridge statements narrow the gap. Instead of saying, everything is perfect, try, I'm learning to trust that things are rearranging for me. It's softer, truer, believable, and truth stabilizes energy faster than idealism ever could. Second, somatic anchors. Choose a small physical gesture that embodies your aligned frequency. Maybe it's touching your heart, exhaling slowly, standing tall. Each time you do it, imagine your entire body syncing to that signal, like a tuning fork remembering its note. Over time, this becomes a shortcut back to coherence. When stress hits, your anchor brings you home. Third, embodiment drills. Every morning, before you check your phone, take 30 seconds to walk as your aligned self, not think. Walk. Feel how that version of you moves, breathes, sees the world. The brain learns fastest through movement and emotion combined. This is how identity rewires from theory to reality, through the body first. Fourth, frequency rehearsal in real time. When something triggers you, a bill arrives, a text goes unanswered, pause. Don't default to your old signal. Ask, how would the version of me who's already safe, already abundant, respond right now? Then embody that response. This single act rewrites timelines faster than any affirmation ever could. This is what mastery looks like. You stop waiting for calm to find you and start rehearsing coherence until it becomes who you are. Because your frequency doesn't change when life gets easier. Life gets easier when your frequency changes. And here's where it gets profound. After enough repetition, these practices stop feeling like effort. They become your baseline. You no longer do alignment. You are alignment. Your nervous system begins to emit a consistent note that reality can trust, and that's when synchronicity starts to accelerate. You'll find the right words spill out of your mouth without thinking, the right people appear without effort, and the path that once looked complicated becomes strangely frictionless. Have you noticed the moment you stopped gripping? What you wanted finally showed up. Tell me your story in the comments. Your experience might unlock someone else's leap. But before we expand that frequency into everyday life, there's a crucial truth. Even when you've rehearsed alignment, 3 hidden traps can pull you back into static if you're not aware of them. Even once you learn how to tune your frequency, there are 3 sneaky distortions that can throw your signal off without you realizing it. They disguise themselves as discipline, focus, and commitment, but underneath, they're just fear in costume. The first distortion is urgency. Urgency whispers, if it doesn't happen soon, it might never happen. It tightens your chest and hijacks your breath. But urgency is the frequency of lack. It tells the field, I'm not there yet. And so reality mirrors delay. The remedy isn't to stop caring. It's to soften the timeline. When you breathe and say, it's already unfolding, you neutralize the pressure. The paradox? Things often move faster the moment you stop measuring how long they're taking. The second distortion is split signals. You can't hold 2 opposing frequencies and expect clarity. One moment you're grateful, the next you're doubting. One part of you wants freedom, another fears losing control. The field responds to your dominant vibration, but if your energy is fragmented, it hesitates, like static between stations. The fix is integration. Let every part of you speak. If a voice inside says, I'm scared, include it. Witness it. Bring it into the coherence of truth. When nothing is exiled, your energy stabilizes. And the third distortion is over-control. The urge to micromanage every detail is just disguised mistrust. You think you're helping creation along, but control squeezes the flow. Imagine trying to tune a radio by forcing the dial. You only make more noise. Alignment happens through relaxation, not domination. Replace, how do I make this happen, with how do I allow this signal to express? The body responds instantly. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, and suddenly the current carries you again. Each of these traps, urgency, split signals, and over-control, are just fear of collapse. But coherence doesn't collapse. It conducts. When you choose trust over tension, the field recognizes stability and mirrors it back through synchronicity. You'll know you're clear when the need to prove, rush, or push simply dissolves. There's an unmistakable ease in your chest, a hum in your body that says, it's handled. That's the vibrational signature of alignment. And here's the deeper reward. Once these distortions dissolve, alignment stops being something you visit. It becomes the tone you live from, in movement, in silence, in every small act of daily life. Because the real test of vibration isn't how high you can go during meditation. It's how coherent you stay while living. The real proof of alignment isn't found on the meditation mat. It's found in the small, ordinary moments that used to pull you out of yourself. Walking into a crowded room, checking your bank balance, waiting for a message that hasn't arrived. These aren't interruptions to your spiritual practice. They are the practice. Every ordinary act is a tuning opportunity. Because coherence isn't a thing you do. It's the vibration that moves through everything you touch once you remember to stay aware. When you walk, notice the rhythm of your feet against the ground. Feel the way your body moves through air, as if you're in a silent dance with the field itself. That awareness alone aligns your nervous system with the frequency of presence. When you eat, slow down enough to taste. Feel gratitude not as a mental checklist, but as a physical pulse, the energy of receiving. Gratitude is the most effortless way to remind the body that life is already giving. In conversations, especially the tense ones, breathe deeper than your ego wants to. Let your energy listen before your words respond. You'll notice something magical. People begin to soften around you. They start mirroring your calm, because coherence is contagious. Even mundane acts, washing dishes, brushing your teeth, walking to your car, can become vibrational training. If you bring full attention, full breath, and full awareness of, I am safe, I am tuned, the action transforms into alignment. The outer world stops being separate from your inner frequency. And here's what happens when you live like this. Time slows, synchronicities multiply. The right ideas appear at exactly the right moment, because your vibration is no longer scattered. You're not jumping between future and past. You're transmitting the signal of now, and reality can finally find you. Integration isn't about perfection. It's about continuity, the consistency of coherence. You're not trying to hold one vibration forever. You're learning to return faster each time you drift. That's mastery. Not staying aligned, but remembering alignment again and again, until remembering becomes automatic. This is when life stops feeling like something to manage. It begins to feel like music, your movement guided by rhythm rather than force. You notice invisible timing guiding everything. The same intelligence that spins galaxies seems to whisper through your everyday gestures. But there's something even greater that unfolds when you live this way. Something that expands your frequency beyond self-regulation and into the creative field that shapes destiny itself. Because once you integrate alignment in the small, the big begins to rearrange. When your energy holds steady in everyday moments, the field begins to entrain to you, not the other way around. You stop reacting to life and start conducting it. And that coherence doesn't stay small. It ripples outward into every domain: relationships, creativity, health, and purpose. Alignment isn't limited to meditation or manifestation. It's a way of participating in the world. The vibration you hold shapes not only what you receive, but how people feel in your presence. Ever notice how some people walk into a room and everything seems to lift? That's resonance. Their frequency organizes the field around them without a word. Take relationships. When you're coherent, you stop needing others to complete a frequency you haven't claimed yourself. You listen differently. You attract people who meet you in truth instead of matching your wounds. Conversations stop revolving around defense and start revolving around discovery. In creativity, alignment feels like inspiration that won't stop flowing. You stop forcing ideas and start channeling them. The blank page that once triggered pressure now feels alive with possibility. You realize creativity isn't something you do. It's what happens when your energy is clear enough for intelligence to move through it. Now imagine that same coherence applied to health. Your body is vibration too. When your emotional field harmonizes, the cells listen. Stress hormones drop, immune response rises, recovery accelerates. You begin to notice pain not as punishment, but as feedback. A note slightly out of tune asking to be adjusted. Let's bring in a scenario. You've been facing a health challenge. Maybe exhaustion, chronic stress, or tension that never fully leaves. You've tried supplements, routines, fixes, nothing holds. Then one day you stop fighting your body and start listening. You breathe into it. Align your energy with gentleness instead of force. Over weeks, the tension begins to unwind. You sleep deeper. You feel clarity where there was fog. You didn't heal by control. You harmonized by coherence. That same principle expands to purpose. When your vibration stabilizes, you stop chasing direction. Life begins placing you where your energy fits best. Projects, people, opportunities start to align naturally because you're broadcasting the signature of readiness. And the most remarkable part? You realize reality has always been listening. It was never ignoring you. It was waiting for your signal to stop wobbling. But there's one last frontier to explore. Beyond the body, beyond the field, there's the deeper mystery. What if alignment isn't just energetic hygiene, but spiritual synchronization with something infinitely intelligent? There comes a point when you realize alignment isn't something you do. It's something that happens through you. The more coherent you become, the more you feel that life itself is the one breathing you, guiding you, expressing through you. That's not poetry. It's physics meeting spirit. Every vibration you hold is an invitation to the larger intelligence that organizes all things. You could call it source, consciousness, the quantum field. It doesn't matter what name you use. What matters is that when your signal is clean, this intelligence flows without resistance. Your body becomes an instrument for it to play through. At first, that idea can feel disorienting. We're conditioned to believe control equals safety, but spiritual alignment reveals the opposite. Safety is born from surrender, because when you surrender to coherence, you're not giving up control. You're merging with a pattern that's infinitely wiser than your plans. You've probably felt it before. Those moments when life lines up so perfectly, it's eerie. You think of someone, and they call. You follow a nudge, and it leads to exactly what you needed. Those aren't coincidences. They're coherence between your micro-frequency and the macro field. You've become one with the rhythm behind creation itself. In this state, desire feels different. You don't want from emptiness. You create from fullness. You're no longer trying to manifest. You're participating in manifestation already happening. The universe isn't outside responding. It's inside, resonating. And here lies the greatest paradox. Surrender is not weakness. It's resonance in its highest form. When you stop fighting the flow, your vibration becomes so pure that reality has no choice but to reorganize in your favor. You're not forcing, you're allowing the current to carry you exactly where your energy fits best. From this space, alignment isn't just a practice, it's communion. You feel the hum of intelligence behind every breath. You sense how the same vibration that holds galaxies in orbit also holds you. The separation between you and life dissolves. And once you experience that, effort feels unnecessary. Not because you've stopped acting, but because every action feels guided, inevitable, precise. Life begins to move through you like music through strings, each moment perfectly timed, perfectly tuned. But to live there fully, to make that state sustainable in human form, there's one final step, anchoring that awareness into a single grounded metaphor that you can return to anytime, anywhere. Because once you can see alignment clearly, you'll never lose it again. Imagine this. You're standing before an infinite array of radio dials. Each one hums a different version of reality. Some are filled with struggle, noise, waiting. Others vibrate with calm precision, where timing feels divine, where effort turns into ease. Every dial is already broadcasting. The only question is, which one are you tuned to right now? Alignment isn't about earning your way to a better station. It's remembering you've always had the power to adjust the dial. Every thought, every breath, every choice is a micro-adjustment toward coherence. When your frequency matches the song of what you desire, it can't not play through your life. This is why when you finally stop pushing, everything starts to move. The moment your vibration stabilizes, the field responds. You begin to feel guided instead of guessing. Life becomes conversational, an echo of your inner tone. So if reality has felt heavy, chaotic, resistant, it's not that you're blocked. You're just tuned to static. And static clears the instant you remember the body's wisdom, soften the nervous system, and choose truth over tension. Because alignment was never about becoming more powerful, it was about becoming more accurate, more honest, more resonant. You'll know you've found your true note when things that once required force begin unfolding through timing so perfect it feels sacred. When people meet you with ease, opportunities open naturally, and you realize you were never waiting for reality to change. Reality was waiting for you to tune in. So take a breath. Feel your body as the instrument it's always been. Adjust your inner dial until the hum feels clear. Then walk through your life as the frequency of coherence itself, and watch how effortlessly the world begins to sing back to you.